All right. So what I was saying is, as I said before, we'll be starting off with the definition. So about mental health and well-being. What do you think are the definitions of the jargons that comes under the umbrella of mental health and well-being? What are those words? We'll start off with you, and we'll go one by one. Yes, because you were just next to me, so we'll start off with you.
Okay, so to me, mental health is something that it has, I would say, a lot of definitions to it because it depends on who you're asking, what part of the world they're from, what kind of society they belong from. So coming from a brown society, coming from a very conservative, backward society where mental health equals to non-existent, to me, mental health was something that was almost like a lie. And it didn't exist until 19 years later in my life when I came to university and I started realizing that mental health means that I'm in a state of bliss, of happiness, of a state where I prioritize myself, a state where I don't have to compromise on myself, a state where depression, stress, anxiety for me should not exist. So like, I know it's a bit complicated and it's very difficult to give just one definition to mental health, but for me, it's where a person can be at a state of peace with themselves. I hope that explains it.
Okay. Obviously, again, as I said before, that the term itself is very subjective, depending on the person to person or the place to place, as you mentioned before, where it is coming from. So that's very understandable, the definition you have put. We'll move next to the next person again. Murtuza, do you agree with what Tasmia said?
Yeah, I do agree with what Tasmia said. It obviously varies person to person, and obviously the region matters. So it's our mental happiness, thing that let you not care about things like don't take pressure, don't take the stress. When you are stress free, I can say that you're mentally healthy. So I agree with Tasmia.
Okay. So is there anything else you want to add in it? Are you guys taking the notes? Are you writing these things? Because this will be helping you to later while you will be drafting the policy in the white paper. So I would really appreciate, like I'm also writing it for you guys, but I would appreciate if you write it because at that time you will be in direct coordination with each other. So, all right. So is there anything else you want to add, Murtuza? Okay, sure. Thank you so much. Next will be Arman.
Hello,
Yes, Arman.
am I audible?
Yes, you are.
So yeah, as she said, it's pretty subjective. It differs from person to person, and I feel that it doesn't. It's like all other diseases that we have. It's like a fever. It's like a headache. Mental health is just another disease that we have, and it could be long lasting. It could be occasional. It mainly differs to person from a person to other person. And yeah, I totally agree with what she has said.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Can I add to that?
Yes.
Can I add to that?
Yes,
Sure.
sure.
Yeah. Okay. So Arman, like no disrespect, man, but like mental health itself isn't, let's say, a disease, right? It's a state of mind. It's a psychological aspect. So you can't exactly say that mental health is a disease, or someone who's, or something like stress, anxiety, sleep deprivation, like these are all mental health problems, but you can't exactly call them a disease because some people might get offended if you do, like, refer to that as a disease because it's a little derogatory. Like, I'm just like, giving an explanation because
Yeah.
like I've done a lot of research on this.
I do not mean to offend anyone.
No,
I'm just saying that this should be equally treated, just like we treat
definitely, yes.
fever or something like that, right?
Yes.
So it is as of at that importance as just like any other problem that we have in our life. So yeah, that is what I was saying. No offense in when I intended or something like that. Yeah.
Okay, that's completely understandable. Thank you, Tasmia, for correcting that. That is what we are here for. We'll be talking about it. That's very good to see you guys start that way. So thank you so much, Arman and Tasmia. You have corrected one thing, that it is not a disease and it is a state of mind. So we'll make sure that we do not make this mistake in the policy we'll be making, we'll be drafting. So we'll move to the next person. I'll take the definition or the understanding of these words from all of the participants first, and then we'll move forward to the discussion or dialogue that we'll be having. All right. Do we? Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We'll move next to Abdul Razak.
Thank you for giving me the chance. Well, according to me, mental health is about your thinking process. What kind of thoughts are in your head, and what kind of emotion it generates in your body. Let's suppose it creates a despair, or it creates motivation, or it's create anxiety, or it's create relief. It's about all your thought process, and the environmental effects is about here, or the people you are with, or the things you do daily, or the fact that you are alone, or the fact that you don't realize what is happening to you, what is your sudden behavior change, and the fact that that you don't know the things you do has any sense to it. The mental health is based on three things according to psychological, emotional, and social impacts, and we have to make our base on we have in those three aspects, I believe. Thank you.
Okay. Social and emotional. Do anyone agree or disagree to what he said? If you agree, you guys know what to do. Okay, that's good. That's good. So, Susanna, we'll move next to you.
I was just thinking of along the same line as Abdul Razak. I think that it includes not only our emotional health, but also our psychological and our social well-being. It affects how we feel, how we think, how we act, how we're taking our day-to-day life, and how we interact with other people, as well as how we interact with ourselves. So it's not something that's, I mean, just an emotion. I'd say it encompasses other aspects of our lives. That would be what mental health means to me.
Okay. Um, Points well made, I'll say. Next, we'll move to Shazali.
Hi, everyone. So I think everybody covered a lot of the points that I was thinking about as well. Mental health is definitely, it's personal, but at the same external factors that the financial problems that they're going through or the challenges that they're facing in their homes, which again is very different and individualistic. So it's important to be very sensitive to anybody who's experiencing a mental health issue. At the same time, mental health issues, like somebody else also pointed out, can be long-term or short-term. Depression, for example, depression is a long-term mental health problem that a person might be facing. Anxiety, however, short-term as well. It definitely shapes our emotions and our behavior. And I feel there's a lot of stigma associated with mental health, which is why there's a lack of awareness in our community and a lack of being able to recognize that this is an issue, which is why it's considered a non-issue, I feel, in our community.
Okay, points very well made. Uh, Everyone agrees to that. So thank you so much,
Thank
Shiva.
you.
Next, we'll have Nimra Naeem. Nimra, are you there?
Yes, yes, I can hear you. Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Okay, so mental health for me is like the definition of a mentally healthy person for me would be someone who has like total self acceptance, which is, I think, for me is like the most difficult thing in the world, right? Most people, of course, there are external factors which impact your mental health, and there's nothing you. But a lot of times, this the mental health issues like anxiety arises from the fact that we are not we do not accept ourselves. There's a certain part of us that we do not accept, and until and unless there's like complete and total self acceptance, I there will be an internal conflict which can lead to mental health problems like anxiety and depression. Others and among youth. So, and also because repetition increased so much over the recent social media and influence us. So there's a unhealthy comparison, which I think leads to mental illnesses, and a lot of it I think ha- has got to do with our own internal control. Yes, of course, there are factors that we can't control, external factors, but there are a lot of internal internal, we can counsel ourselves that we have to accept ourselves just the way we are, and that's it.
Okay, so that comes in a having that, you can say, accepting ourselves. That's a very good point made by Nimra. Everyone agrees to that? Okay, thank you so much. So next we'll have Mehak. I think Mehak is the last participant we haven't taken the stance from. Yes, Mehak. Yeah, that's okay, Mehak. If you cannot open your mic, you can your video. Can you speak on your mic?
Hello, Razi.
Yes. Hi. How are you?
Hello. I'm fine. Definitely includes your you are thinking, like the way you are thinking, the way you are perceiving things. It includes your emotional, your psychology also, and or whenever someone interact with you, how perceiving different things and how you are relating all those stress, if you're stressed and if you're under pressure, so you won't be able to make a good choice. So it all depends on your mental health. For me, this is something related to physiology, emotion also. So it all, the in conclusion, I can say how we feel and how we react.
Okay. Thank you so much. I just saw that you have written it in the chat as well, so I take the. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mehak. The points are very, very second. Yes. So we have Aisha Shafiq. Aisha, because you were getting disconnected, so we were just discussing the basic definition of mental health. So if you could unmute your mic and you say what is the mental health to you, then I'll move to one thing that I need to tell you guys before. I should have told you guys before, but it's okay if I tell you that now as well. Yes, Aisha.
Okay, sorry, I am facing some internet issue. So I think mental health refers to behavioral and psychological health. I think it refers to how people think, feel, behave. I think it is very important. We cannot judge a person by when what he's thinking and what by his communication as well, that how is mentally ill or not. So I think some mental health is very important, and with this topic I think we can talk about it. So mental health can affect living relationship as well and the physical health as well, so it should be, I think, notified as well. So I just say this thing about mental health.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I think everyone have given a very similar definition to what Tasmia started off with. We just kept adding points to it, except for where Tasmia had to correct Dr. Arman for something that he said. So yeah, what I wanted to tell you guys is let's make it a little bit easier for you to understand it. So whenever we are drafting a policy, what we do the first thing is we understand the problem by these 5 W's and 1 H. So anyone knows about what these 5 W and 1 H is? Okay, so
Who,
five
what,
W one.
when,
Yeah,
how,
exactly.
where.
Who? It starts with what, who, when, where, how. How is the H, and what, where, who, when, and why. Why is the most important. Sorry. So 5 W's and 1 H. What we did right now was the what. We did what it is. Now we'll move to why it's happening. So when we go to the problem statement, that's how we understand that we are all agreed to a definition where now we should be moving to the problems that come along with it. So when we are moving to the problems, we again have to make sure that we are covering all those 5 W's and 1 H. So when we say 5 W's and 1 H, when we'll be writing it down in a form of a document. So what, uh, hello, am I audible? Yes, okay.
Yes.
So when we'll be writing that down in form of a document, it will be very easier for us. We'll know we will not be needing a lot of reference documents to draft our policies, because that is how policies are made. Policies are made on these 5 W's and 1 H. Every point or every problem when written under 5 W's and 1 H, it becomes a policy itself. So how are we going to make it better? What it is, since when it is happening, why is it happening, and who is it happening with? So when all of these things are mentioned, then we go to H. When we say how, so how are we going to improve it? So whenever we do that, automatically our policy becomes a very, you can say, understandable for any layman who would be reading it. So that is what I'm expecting from. I'm not expecting a very governmental level of a policy from you guys, that we pass it in the assemblies in form of bills and in form of the documents that the government be putting. We'll be putting a document or the white paper that I should Dullab have shared with you. It has a very similar format, right? So that is how we'll be doing it. Okay, understood, everyone? Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. So next we'll be moving to the problem statements now. So okay, thank you so much, Mehak. So the problem statement will again be starting off with what are the problems that comes with it. So one of the problem that was mentioned within the discussion we were having in the definition was where Aisha said that we do not accept ourselves. So that is one of the problem. Do anyone agree or disagree, want to add to it? You can just raise your hand and I'll say who will be speaking. And for those who could not open your camera, there is a an option for reactions. When you open the reactions column, you'll see all of those reactions that we need. So anyone who wants to speak, anyone willing to speak? Yes, Tasmia. Thank you so much.
Okay, so apart from acceptance, what I also feel that one of the problems regarding mental health is, oh my God, my camera went off. Sorry. So one of the problems that with mental health is the problem of it being a topic of shame or taboo, especially in Asian culture. Like right now, I'm not in Bangladesh, but I can tell you that be it Bangladesh, be it another part of Asia, wherever I've been in Asia, they always have this thing that you do not talk about mental health. Like it is extremely upsetting that I live in one of the best cities right now. It is so developed and there is no psychologist around. When I had to get diagnosed, I had to go to another part that is almost 25 kilometers away just to go to a proper psychologist who told me that, and I quote, it's going to be okay. You're just a girl after all. Women face these problems. So when you make mental health an issue that is a non issue and you like justify it as being shameful, that you shouldn't talk about, then I mean, like, how are you supposed to have progress regarding it? You know, like, I couldn't even explain to my brown parents that, look, I am depressed, look, I'm stressed, because then their answer would be like, if you're a good Muslim, depression doesn't exist.
Exactly.
So yeah, so like, that's the biggest problem I feel, the shame behind talking about mental health.
Okay, so it's even worse when it does not get diagnosed, and our immediate relatives, our family are not supporting our argument or saying that we don't. Thank you, Fariha. Have appreciated you, Tasmia, uh, because the points were actually very well made. So, anyone else who is willing to speak next? Okay, for Fariha, because Fariha was not there during the starting of the session. So we discussed the definitions, and now we have moved to the problem. So if you want to speak, you can just put it in the chat, or you can raise your hand, and I'll give you the chance to speak. So next we have no one. No one wants to speak next. All right, then I'll go to cherry picking you guys. I'll go start with Fari. No, I'll go with Murtaza first. Yes, Murtaza.
Well, I completely agree with the fact that the self acceptance, obviously, and as Tasmia mentioned, that it's kind of a taboo in the Asian religion. So Asia region, I'm sorry. So it's like whenever someone is saying that I'm having these mental problems and I need to visit a psychologist. Uh, you will see that people around him or people around her will react. So the reaction actually makes it more worse. So we'll have to accept it that it's normal and this can happen to anyone. And I think the lesson comes from the family as this is the primary stage of learning. So if we want to solve this problem, we will have to start with the family, because whenever a family raises kids, and if you're teaching them that it's okay to have these problems, it's okay to be depressed, or it's okay to be have anxiety, we can always fix this. It may take time or it may not, but we are with you. The mental support is important, and mostly we don't get the mental support. That's why uh, there are so many accidents happening every day. The data says, the news says. So yeah, I'd like to add this fact that we will have to accept it for anyone, and we have to support them mentally.
Thank you so much, Murtaza. That was mentioned. Thank you for mentioning that again. We'll have Aisha. Aisha, you have raised your hand.
Yes, I want to say, and I want to second Tasmi as well, that psychology allows people to understand more about how the body and mind work together. I think so. Psychology is very important, and this knowledge can help me decision making, avoiding stressful situation. It can help with time management, setting, achieving goals, and life effectively. I think so. We are using every day. I think our mind, brain is working depending on this type of things. Everyone using psychology on daily basis, whether they are talking with friends, arguing with partners, or it's like leave now.
Okay,
Okay,
don't leave. Just
understand how
complete your
your
thing, then we'll move
mind.
to the session.
Okay, okay. Okay, most of people don't realize the science behind the decision. Understand how your mind works, help in everyday life by allowing you to build strong relationship and make the best decision. So I think so. Psychology, and this is very important. We should have focus about it. That what is mental health and what we have to do with it. So I think I want to say this.
Okay, thank you so much, Aisha. Since we are moving to our break, for the first break, we'll continue it from here where Aisha left when we come back, and you guys can think of other problems as well while you are on the break, because I understand when you are eating something, your brain works a little faster. So when you are in the break, you guys can come up with problems that you cannot